You just bought it, sold it as is, netted 41K.
Correct.
That's better than a 10% raise.
Yes, for sure.
What's up, guys? Brad here. So, wanted to take a minute to really share this episode with you. So, this is my guy Pranav, okay? And Pranav has been with me about a year. And this guy is a scientist through and through, really, really smart guy. And it looks like from the time that he started as an investor to the time he's going to be able to quit his job is going to be 2 years. And he's obviously being successful, and he's got some really, really cool deals coming up. We're talking about a deal that happened in Texas. The cool thing about this deal is it was a no-hab situation, meaning he did not build the equity, he bought the equity day one. So he did very, very little in repairs on this deal and really was in a position to profit just from understanding how to buy and really understanding markets. We're going to let him share the story. I wanted to preface it. Pranav is an up and coming guy, and I think you're going to hear a lot from him. And I suspect this probably is not Pranav's only episode that he'll have with us. So you'll definitely be hearing from Pranav. So appreciate you guys. Without further delay, here's the episode. Pranav, appreciate you being with us, man.
Thanks, Brad, for the opportunity. You have been a great mentor, and I love being around you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. It's too kind.
Mhm.
So let's just jump into it, man. Like, tell the audience what you were doing prior to real estate.
Yeah, so prior to real estate, I had no experience with real estate. I am a scientist by profession. I work in semiconductor industry as a senior scientist. I have a PhD in applied physics and material science. So I was no near real estate. Mm.
Interesting. So what made you want to get into the real estate business in the first place?
Yeah. So it was almost like 3 years back when my son was born. We realized the expenses keep increasing with the family. And the only way to make up for those expenses is to work hard in the corporate America job. I have to keep spending more time in my job to make more money. I did all the math, I did all the timeline, roadmap. It will take me maybe another 20 years to become a senior vice president in corporate America or become a CEO somewhere. And I have to keep working hard. I have to spend more time every time I climb the corporate ladder. But I was looking for something like, okay, is there a way where I can spend less time and make more money, or at least make the amount of money I am making right now with less time, because I want to devote time towards my family also.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that corporate America thing is like you have to go up, you have to spend more time.
Yeah.
But in real estate, I saw a value in on the return on investment that like 90% of the millionaires on the planet are from real estate.
Yeah.
So can I do this? Let me experiment with it.
That's really interesting. Have you seen that it's been difficult for you to manage your time? Because if you're working corporate, you also have a family. I mean, most people would say, I can't do real estate because I don't have the time. So how have you been able to manage that?
Yeah. So what I did in my workplace is I took a reduced amount of workload because again, it's the return on investment. If I get the next promotion, I'll get a 10% raise, maybe like 20 grand, 30 grand. And if I just do one real estate deal, I can make much more than that. Right.
I love that. So at what point did you know the business was real, man? Because I guess to give some context, how long have you been in the investing space now?
A little over a year now, almost a year.
About a year.
Uh,
And at what point did you say, like, oh man, this is serious, this is real?
yeah. I would say earlier this year when I sold my first retail, like this was in Missouri. I know we had discussion on that also. When the wire hits the account and you feel like, wow, this thing works. I did this much amount of work. I hold the house for like 3, 4 months and I made like 50, 60, 100 grand on it. It's like awesome. This thing really works.
Yeah, when the wires hit the account, man, that's a boost of confidence. I do remember my first deal. I didn't think the check would cash, but I had something that I thought might work.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's jump into this. We're going to talk about the deal of the day. This is a deal in Texas. Me and you have talked about this deal a lot on support calls. So, just kind of like give us the overview of the deal. Where did the lead come from? How did the negotiation work? Just tell us the story about the deal.
Sure. So this lead came through my PPC campaign. This was end of February, and I was at the birthday party of my son. We were about to cut the cake,
Wow.
and I got this lead. So I step aside. I said to my wife, "Hey, let me do the triage and come back." So I was doing the triage almost 10 minutes, and I remember at the end of the triage, my wife was behind me and saying, "Hey, we are about to cut the cake." Said, sure, I'm almost done. So I just scheduled the next appointment with the seller. This was a inheritance situation, and the lady could not manage two houses. This house was given to her from her father, and she lived like 30 minutes away. She has her own family, her own in-laws to take care of, and she could not handle the house and the expenses. She has been trying to sell it for a year, and I think someone from her family squatted the house also, and she had to spend attorney's fees to get them out. So she was kind of bummed. Like she said, I really want to get rid of it and pay off the attorney and hopefully have something for me after this. So she was motivated.
Gotcha. So this is stacked motivation, guys. This is two of the big five. This is inheritance and tired landlord wrapped into one. And so, was there anything interesting or special about the negotiation on this one, or was it pretty streamlined?
It was interesting actually. So when I first papered the deal, we had it for 100,000 and I did the home inspection. Repairs came out a little more than what I expected. I told the seller, I cannot do 100. Agree. I did not agree. Like she agreed on 90. I said it's still too tight. So I passed on. I said, I cannot do this.
Hmm.
But I was very professional throughout the whole thing. I said, the numbers does not make sense for me. I wish you can sell it to someone else.
Right.
So, and I did the home inspection. So that made the seller feel that this person is real. In the past, I think she had an offer, but no one did an inspection or did
Mm.
anything.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. So she came back to me later on, like I think in a couple of weeks. Uh, she said, "Would you be interested in buying it?" Said, "Yes, I can buy it, but not at that price." Uh, so what's the least you will take? And that's where we agreed to buy it on 80. So I bought this house for 80. The ARV was 200 on this.
So you bought it for 80, ARV's 200. So that's the value, the exit value. What were repairs like?
Repairs were like 40, 50,000.
Okay.
And the house was livable. It was decent. It just needed the upgrades and some things repaired. Like the HVAC did not work in the house,
Hmm.
and which everyone sounded to me like my agent, like, oh, in Texas, it's a big deal. You don't have an HVAC. How are you going to sell the house? And you and I, we discussed this because if I spend 40, 50K, I might be making probably the same without,
Hmm.
you know, if I do those repairs and if I don't do those repairs.
Okay. So you chose not to do the repairs on this.
Correct. I did the very basic minimal repairs like patching some holes in the drywall, yeah, some siding repairs, mowing the grass, lawn care. So about 3 grand. I did 3,000 in repairs and updates.
So we did about $3,000 in repairs on this. How long did it take you from the time that you bought the house to the time you got it right back on the market?
So I bought it on April 4th of this year, and we put it on the market on May 12th. So
Okay. So a little bit over a month. I mean, that's a little bit of a timeline there. So was that longer than what you expected?
yeah, so since I was traveling for a week or so for the mastermind, so I could not handle,
That's right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So 1 week over there and some delay from the contractors. Yeah, that's why it took like
Gotcha.
40 days or so.
Okay, cool. So you put it on the market. How was buyer activity on the deal?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like the first week itself, we got the offer. And so we bought it for 80, put 3,000 in repairs, and we put it on market for 160 after those repairs and updates. And we got an offer for 150 with some 10,000 in credits. I said, which is pretty fine. If this closes out, like from purchase to sale, it will be like 2 months for me if this
Hmm.
thing, and I would be making like 36 grand if that offer worked out. So they took their time. So that offer was contingent on the sale of another offer. My agent said that they have a cash buyer who is buying their house, and they took like a little over a month, and it turned out they have some title issues on the sale of the other house,
Oh, wow.
so they could not sell it to the cash buyer also because of the title issues. I think they had a death in the family, and they have to go through some probate or some things from the county. They were waiting on the paperwork. So that's when I came to you and we discussed like, okay, what's the best way here? So I gave them few options, but that buyer did not accept those options. So we have to put it back on the market. So we
Gotcha.
waited about 40 days hoping that this will cash out.
Yeah, and that's part of it. I mean, sometimes we have situations where you have something under contract, it just doesn't work out. So when did you put it back on the market and when did it end up closing?
Yes. So this was end of June. So like 3 or 4 weeks back, we put it back on market. I think this was July or June 28th, 9th is when we put it back on the market.
Okay.
This time I was anxious. Okay, we wasted like 40 days already. I have my holding cost like $1,500 per month. And it turned out we had another repair which we did not figure out in the beginning. The home inspector missed it, and this was like in front of the bathtub. There is a bowing that's happening in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw in the feedback from the buyers, hey, there is a bowing, the floor is bad. And I was wondering what's really wrong with this floor. Uh, we did our best. We know what the repairs are in the house. So my agent sent me this. And I think what happened over a period of time that became really bad. It was not bad in the beginning, but something like a lot of people went through it. Maybe something happened there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I was a little anxious. Oh, should I fix this or what should I do? And we had this discussion. And you said, how's the showing activity? The showing activity was pretty good. We were having like almost like 6 or 7 showings every week.
Mm-hmm.
And after we put it back on the market, we got another offer that time. I think that was again the first week itself. We got another offer that was for whole 160,000 for full asking price, but with a 10,000 credit on it. I was about to accept, so that offer came on like a Saturday night, and I was hoping to discuss a little more with you on Monday, and they withdraw on Monday morning themselves. They said they think the repairs are more than what they anticipated.
Hmm.
I said, okay, that's fine. So that made me a little more anxious. Okay, what's really wrong with the house? Am I doing something wrong here, or did I miss anything? So, and what happened in the past, this seller from whom I bought the house, they tried to sell the house for 140, 150 as is, but they could not sell it. So this was during my due diligence. I was a little nervous, like they could not sell it. Like, how can I sell it for 160? But then I did a little more research and it figured out they had some squatters at that time, so they did not have showings.
Oh
So
yeah.
there was
Tough to
something.
do.
Yeah,
Really tough to do.
yeah.
So did that offer end up coming back in or was it a different offer that ended up buying it?
So we got a third offer on
Okay.
this, and you and I we discussed. You said don't do anything, just hold on. Let's see how the showing goes for another week or so. And within a week, we got another offer, and this was an all cash offer. They said they can close within a week, no contingencies. And this came at 145,000 all cash. And we did some negotiation and we ended up at 147.5 for all cash deal. And we just closed it on Monday and the wire hit our account on Monday. So today is Wednesday. So 2 days back, we just closed it.
Beautiful. Okay, cool.
Right.
So what was the net income on this deal?
So net profit is 41,000.
41,000. Okay.
And
So
I
you bought it for 80, put about 3K in it. You had some holding costs. You did not do this 40 or 50K renovation to take it to 200,000. You just bought it, sold it as is, netted 41K.
correct. And I got back my 11,000, like whatever repairs, holding cost that was there in the deal. So I got,
That's better than a 10% raise.
yes, for sure. Uh,
So, I mean, a year and a half ago, would you have thought this is possible?
I saw a value in it. I saw that it has been working for so many people. Why can't it work for me?
I love that. Yeah.
So I said, let's experiment with it. Let's take baby steps, and let's prove out this concept.
Yeah,
And
for
that's
sure.
what I've been doing for last one year. And I feel really confident, like, yes, this thing really works.
So how close are you now to letting go of the job completely?
I have few deals. I think once I sell those houses, I'll be in a pretty good shape to to quit my job. I think end like next summer is my target when
Okay.
I can confidently, replace my W-2 income with my real estate income.
That's still pretty good though. 2 years to leave corporate. And I mean, I know you being a PhD, you guys don't take uncalculated risks. So
Yeah.
my guess is you probably could do it much earlier, but for you to feel really good about things, and I think that that's great. So what are like one, maybe two things that you learned about this deal that you could share with people that they could put into their business that you think would be helpful?
Yeah. I would say first thing was the being professional with your sellers. um, because this seller like we I backed off. I said, sorry, I can't do it at that number, but I was very professional throughout the whole process. I was explaining them how are we going to do it. I had the title company who were very professional with my seller, so they kind of liked it, that these guys are real, they are doing something. So that's the first thing, being professional and being honest and authentic upfront.
Yeah, love that.
And the second thing I would say is just following the process. If there is a process that has been working out for so many people, just follow it and execute it.
Love
So
that,
that's
man.
what I have learned from you, and that's what I have been hoping to implement more and more. And I think the concept has been proven by me also. My intellect says yes, this works. So let's keep working on it and keep scaling and do more deals.
So I love that, man. This is a question I don't ask people generally, but where do you think you're going to be in the business 2 years from now?
So 2 years from now, so 1 year from now is the goal is like between me and my wife. So me and my wife, we have very similar jobs. We work at the same companies, similar education background. So at least one of us wants to become full time by next summer into real estate, and very soon the second one becomes full time.
Very cool.
So 2 years from now, me and my wife, we both are doing it full time. We have our kids, we have more time, and we have our passive income, which can help us to take care of the bills. And we are focusing on scaling the business from seven figure to eight figures.
Love that. Love
Right.
that. Cool. Awesome, man. Dude, this was so helpful to people. Thank you for being with us today. It was great, man. Thank you so much.
No, Brad, thank you for having me. I really appreciate what you are doing for everyone, and you being really humble and very patient with all your apprentices. That has been a real help.
Well, like I tell people, man, like you guys do more for me than I can do for you because you guys are getting people out of bad situations, stopping foreclosures, getting people out of divorces. I mean, my impact is magnified through you guys. So I'm blessed to be a part of what you're doing, man. But thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Brad. And my wife is also here. She's in the background listening. Uh, we are in
Come on
the
over here. How's it going? All right, cool. Well, I won't keep you guys from the work day. Thanks for doing this, and let me know how I can help you guys. Hope to see you Thursday night.
yes, Thursday night, and we'll do a one-on-one call to refine our strategy a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Let me know.
so thank you, Brad.
Cool. All right. See you guys. Thanks again.
Yeah. Thank
Bye.